so much for stopping by and taking the time to check out my podcast. Again, this is my very first podcast, so do excuse me for being a little nervous, maybe saying too many times, but just overall being excited to share this part of my life with you. I figured I'd start, let's say, with who am I? Again, my name is Christina, the Blissful Stitch. I am a mom of two beautiful girls and a wife to a wonderful husband. I live here in North New Jersey, and I guess I'd start with a little bit of history as far as my crocheting and knitting goes. I've been crocheting for, I'd say, about 3 years, but more consistently within the past 2 years, maybe a year and a half, where I started to really kind of dive into crocheting and just really enjoying the art of crocheting. I first started off just making a baby blanket for my youngest. She is now 3 years old, but I did start it when I believe she was just turning about a year, and I was a stay-at-home mom at that time, so I was just kind of really trying to find different things to do at home and to keep myself occupied, also feeling productive. But I always had a creativity side to myself, and when I just really put it on myself where I wanted to learn how to crochet. I wanted to learn how to make something, make a blanket, make a scarf, anything really. I do take a lot of pleasure in making something with my hands and being able to give it to my family. So when I first took on the challenge of making just a simple baby blanket first, I believe the pattern I found was on YouTube. Of course, YouTube is like the hub of how-tos for everything. But I believe I came across Melanie Ham's video for a beginner baby blanket, and I followed that tutorial. I'm very visual, so tutorials help me out tremendously. And yeah, I just did it, and I made my very first baby blanket, and the pure achievement and bliss that I felt out of making something myself, and I was able to make that for my child, and knowing that she can, you know, grow up with it, and just for it to be a part of her life was just astronomical. I just loved it. And from there, that was kind of it. And it was kind of a project as well, where I kind of put down and then went back to it, put down and went back to it. I wasn't very consistent with it, but the accomplishment that I felt when it was completely done was just, I loved it. And from there, again, it was on and off with the crocheting, but then I started to really kind of want to be productive with my hands and just kind of do something during the day and just have that sense of accomplishment that I am doing something, and I am creating, which I do love to create things, pretty things. So I started doing like little pouches and coasters and scarves and hats and things like that. So that's kind of been my journey with crocheting and just kind of learning the skill and just kind of, you know, trying to be proficient with it. It's not until earlier this year where I kind of really set a goal for myself, where I was like, I need to start making some sweaters. I love sweaters. Who doesn't love cozy sweaters? But just diving more into, I guess, garments per se. Not that garments is my favorite thing in the world, but I wanted to make a sweater. And I followed a pattern by Sorella. You're going to see a theme here, because a lot of my things are Sorella based, because she is one of the first bloggers that I've really come to appreciate her patterns, because they're super beginner friendly and very easy to follow, and just very easy to do. Again, I'm so sorry if I keep saying I'm a little nervous, so just bear with me, please. I made my first little cardigan, which was the little denim cardigan that she had. released earlier this year. And then from there, just kind of following different patterns. I also did the ruffle sleeve cardigan of hers. And also, I do have another one. The bubblegum sweater that she had on her blog, I did that one as well. I also tried out the Hook Nooks, which is Jessica Carey. I tried out her summer cardigan. It's just a short sleeve basic cardigan. I completed that one, which I think I'm going to add a little bit to. I think I want to add 3/4 sleeves to it and do a little bit more of a ribbing around the hemline. But I've done that and just other things that I'm going to show you, which one of them is what I'm wearing today. But again, I'm going to just look at my notes to see what I do have next. Oh, and okay, so I gave you my history of crocheting. Now when it comes to knitting, this is very, very new to me. I started, I want to say maybe in the beginning of the summer, really diving into learning how to knit. I absolutely love knitting for what I know right now. And I'm so intrigued by just the art of it. It's different than crocheting, very different. But making something from knitting is just, I feel like a completely different accomplishment than you feel from crocheting. I'm always a crocheter at heart. I've learned to crochet first, so that's never going to leave me. But I am diving into a bit of knitting, and I do want to show you what I've done so far with that and also what I plan to do in the future. But knitting has just quickly become something that I truly, truly do enjoy and love to do. So I figured also, it's going to be completely cliche because I know a lot of podcasters do this, but I figured I'd start letting you know about the weather here in North Jersey. We are in autumn, finally, fall time. Love it. Pumpkins, leaves, all of that stuff. The weather is just now starting to get cooler. The weather was fluctuating a bit in September and early October. We're still in early October. It is October 13th, but it's just now really starting to kind of get cool and cozy, and you just want to knit all the things and crochet all the things. You see how I'm saying knit first? Oh, forgive me, crocheters, forgive me. But you just want to kind of cuddle up with your cup of coffee or a cup of tea and just crochet and do all the yarny things possible. Which leads me to what I am drinking. I know this is a big thing on podcasts. I am drinking out of my wonderful unicorn mug. It's so cute. My husband gifted this to me last year, I believe. Who doesn't love unicorns? I am currently drinking tea. And I left the packet here to share with you. It's the traditional medicinals tea of chamomile and lavender, which I thought couldn't be more fitting, having some chamomile and lavender to kind of calm me down a little bit, it being my first episode and I am full of nerves. So that is what I'm drinking. What are you drinking? What do you like to drink on a daily basis? I am a coffee lover. I love coffee. I love me some hot coffee, some iced coffee, some frozen coffee, or the colada kinds, you know what I mean? But I also love my tea. I love all kinds of things. You'll see me drinking many different things, even maybe smoothies. Who knows? But let me have a sip and we can get started with my finished objects, which I'm going to show you my finished objects more so from the beginning, the end of August to about now, what I've finished. Because again, this is a new podcast, so I would like to show you just some things that I was working on towards the end of the summer, beginning of the fall. And I do have quite a bit of whips and also some things I'd love to share that I've gotten within the past month and a half. So let me have my sip. I pray you get your drink and just join me as I show you some creative things. So first I'll start off with what I'm wearing. This is the Cocoon cardigan. This is from the designer Two of Wands, and I'll just stand up a minute so you can see. It's basically just a granny square. It's super, super long, so you can't really see the end of it, but you can see the detail on the sleeves, just a simple single crochet cuff, but it's just a granny square panel, and you make it like if you're making a shrug. So you create, I think it's 40 by 40 inches of just a big granny square panel, and you seam the sides. So you're folding it like this and you're seaming the sides, and you're just making a single crochet cuff and also a few rounds. I think it was about 8 rounds. And also on this side, which I wish I would have maybe have done just a little bit more of a hemline or the ribbing at the end here. I wish I would have added just a couple more rows of that. I think it only called for like 2 or 3. But it was a super fun pattern, super mindless. I love me a mindless crochet pattern where I can just sit down and kind of just work at it, not have to think, and it's just super therapeutic and easy to follow. So again, it was just a 40 by 40 granny square, and you just seam the sides in and do a little bit of cuffing and hemline, and that was it. I completed this in about, I would say, a little bit over a week, but I feel like I could have definitely done it, I would say maybe 2 weeks, but I feel like I could have totally done it in a week. But I do have a part-time job and 2 children to take care of, so my time is a bit limited when it comes to how much time I could put in a day to crocheting and knitting. But I've come to the idea where it was super hard for me to come to this, but I am just not a morning person. Oh, I just don't like the morning. I wish I was more of a morning person. And I envy the people who can just wake up super, super early, like 5 o'clock in the morning, and just kind of can do what they need to do for themselves for the day. But the way my body is set up, I just love sleep. And if I can just sleep until I need to, absolutely need to get up, that's the way that I would rather have it. But I would say since my daughter started, she started 4th grade this year, my oldest. I have 2 daughters. She started the 4th grade this year, and I made it a kind of promise or a vow to myself that I'm just going to get up earlier, even if it's just me having my Bible time, or just me crocheting or knitting, or just to get myself up and get myself excited to be up early in the morning, an hour or so before she's getting up. Because I would have, oh my gosh, tell me if you're with me on this, but sometimes even as a mom, I would stay up to the sleep to the very last second. And then I'm rushing and trying to get her rushed and out the door, and not making proper breakfasts, just something to get her in and out. And it's just, forgive me. I know, don't judge me. Please don't judge me. But that's just the way it's been. But I've actually been pretty good with waking up a little extra early in the morning, and I've been dedicating that time. Again, either I'm reading, having some Bible time, or I'm crocheting or knitting, and I've actually really been enjoying it. Getting up early and just having that time before I start my day and before the kids wake up, and just kind of having just that time to unwind, and also just have that extra time to do what you need to do. And for me, it's getting, stuff done with my crocheting, because if not, then it's just going to take me forever. So getting up just extra early and kind of having that time to crochet or to knit or do whatever it is that I need to do, that extra time is super helpful. So again, this was my first finished object, which I'd like to show you. Again, super simple pattern, loved it so much. I do have to take pictures and put it up on my Instagram. Again, with my Instagram and Ravelry, I am still very new, so I have to figure out how to kind of really manage that aspect of being in the community. I do have a blog, by the way, theblissfulstitch.com. I haven't been very active on that. I was more active on it in the beginning of the year, but again, I I do hope with this podcast too that it keeps me accountable, and it just keeps me kind of going with just, you know, the blogger life and the knitting and crochet community. You got to kind of be active, and I want to be active. And with Ravelry, I'm still kind of trying to figure out how to really use that. That's again new to me since earlier this year, and I've just used it as a hub of just kind of getting patterns to work on, but not really using it business wise or, you know, blogger wise. So if you don't see much activity on that from when this is uploaded, that's why. It's because I'm still very new to everything, and I kind of figured, let me just podcast. I see a bunch, and I love a bunch of podcasters. I watch them all the time, and I figured, you know, there's never a specific time to start. There's never the right way to start. So I'm just going to start. So I'm going to have another sip of my tea, and we'll get back into the FOs because I'm just blabbing now. Okay, so my next finished object I want to show you was, I took the base of it from also Sorella. Again, I told you that's going to be a theme going on here. Her patterns are just, I just love them. They're super beginner friendly, super easy, and just very pleasurable to do. But the next one I'm going to show you, I used the base of it from her Lana kimono, but the tall and curvy version. And I just kind of added my own little twist to it, which is going to be kind of hard to show, just me lifting it up because it's pretty big. But let me go ahead and show you. So this is my Lana kimono with the tall and curvy version. Again, you can't really tell. This is the neckline here, and I just added a lot more rows to it to where it kind of flares at the top. Again, it's so hard to show, but it's basically like a cascading on each side. Let me put it on for you really quick. Maybe if I put it on, it's a lot easier to show. So I'll be right back. Okay, so here I have it on. I'm just going to stand up for you. It's a kimono style, so it's cinched in at the arms here. I added a lot more rows, so it really covers my my whole arm. But if you can see on the sides here where it kind of cascades, I hope that you can see this. I'm trying to get the perfect view for this, but it's super, super long, but it cascades. I definitely need to take photos of it and place it on my Instagram so you can really kind of see and get the gist of what it is that I'm talking about. But again, it was 2 rectangular panels, but you just seamed it up in a different way than you would if it was just one rectangular panel. Usually if it's just one rectangular panel, you're cinching the sides. But with 2 rectangular panels, just the positioning of it was just different. But again, I used that as the base of the kimono, but I made it a lot larger so it would have that cascading, again, cascading effect. It's super long and super flowy, super pretty. I just love it. And this was using Shawl in a Ball by Lion Brand, and it was the Community Coral colorway. But I guess I'll just wear this, I guess, for the rest of the podcast. But for the Cocoon Cardi, by the way, that was using 24/7 cotton by Lion Brand, and that was the color taupe, I believe. So now my next finished object would be, which I can't wear it now because it's fall time, and I finished it towards the end of the summer, so I only was able to use it once or twice. But it is from Meg Made with Love, and it is her swimsuit cover up. So here it is, and it's a beautiful glory, just so beautiful, so long. If you can see on this side, it's longer in the back and shorter in the front. But just look at the detail on this pattern. I mean, texture for days. Absolutely beautiful. It has a V-neck and just the drawstring here to where you can tie it and cinch it up. But this is just absolutely beautiful. This pattern was a labor of love because it was a long piece. It's all in one piece, by the way. This was not 2 panels. This was 1 panel, and just kind of working it so you have that hole in the middle for your head. But my goodness, this was a labor of love. It did take me a while. There is a lot of stitches and a lot of texture on here. But what a beautiful pattern. I absolutely loved it. I do have it up on my Instagram. You'll also notice on my Instagram that I'm trying to change themes. I'm realizing that having a theme to your page is super important. So I'm kind of, you know, bear with me with that too. But I am working with that. But you'll see earlier in my feed, I do have a picture of me wearing it when I wore it this past summer. And again, that took me a lot longer because it was a ton of stitches, ton of texture, labor of love, but loved every moment of it because it was just so satisfying when you're done and you're wearing it with your bathing suit, feeling all spiffy and sassy. I just loved it. That took me, I want to say, about 3 weeks to a month to complete. So I completed it more towards the end of August. Therefore, I was only able to use it a couple times, but I can't wait to wear the crap out of it next year as a swimsuit cover-up at the beach, at the pool, you know, feeling my crochet. But that color was in the color Coral, and I used the Lily's Sugar and Cream, I believe. Yeah, Lily's Sugar and Cream, the cotton yarn. And again, it was the color Tangerine. I'm sorry. Tangerine was the color for that. Super beautiful, super perfect, especially if you have darker skin. That color, oh my gosh, with the tan. Oh, love it, love it, love it. So now I'm going to get into, let me show you, I was going to show you my whips, but let me show you my half object. And yes, it's knitting. It's my sock. I dived into sock making, which I was kind of suffering from second sock syndrome, I believe they call it, for a little while. But I've been kind of blasting through it and trying to really get it done. But I do have 1 sock done, and also you can find the picture of that on my Instagram. But I have it here in this little pouch, which I got at the Sheep and Fiber Festival, Garden State Sheep Festival, I believe it was called. And they had all the yarny things, all the yarny goodness. It was my first fiber festival that I've actually went to. So that was pretty cool. But again, this is a little pouch that I got from there. And I don't have a sock blocker yet, so forgive me for that too. Hopefully by my next podcast, I will have a sock blocker, and I'll have both of them done to show them in all their prettiness. But here is my sock, my first sock ever. Do you know the accomplishment you feel when you make a sock? Oh my goodness. I did not want to do socks for a long time because they seemed super intimidating, and I always thought you had to do them on DPNs, and DPNs are something that intimidate the crap out of me, and I don't know if I'm ever going to dive into DPNs, but as of right now they're super intimidating. So I just use 9-inch circulars for this. Super easy. I followed Simply in Stitches, I believe. Yeah, Simply in Stitches. She was like the only one that I found using 9-inch circulars on YouTube. And again, I'm very visual, so me looking at it and it being done, she took her time through each and every part of the sock, which was just awesome. I mean, she went round through round through round with you. You can pause it, go back, go forward, but she just took her complete time, which is so appreciated for beginner knitters, especially beginner sock knitters. But yes, look, oh my gosh. I have it on my Instagram again. So that is a half object because this is done. And I'm currently this far on my second one. I do have a long tail here, but I am this far. I have my cuff, it's cuff down, by the way. I have my cuff, my tube. I just finished the heel and the heel flap and the gusset today. So now I'm just really kind of working in the round to get the foot part, and then I just have to decrease for the toes, and then I'm finally done and I will have a pair of my own knitted socks. Like, oh, so happy about that. I did have a little hiccup here. If you can see on my gusset, I believe the last 4-row repeat for the gusset, I don't know what I did, but I like funked it up. I did it like opposite side. I can't even tell you what I did, but I fudged it up a little bit. I'm not even mad because it's my first pair of socks. I have hiccups on my other one, and I think I have a couple hiccups on this one, and it's totally fine because it's my first pair of socks. Yes, I am having a moment. My first pair of socks. Absolutely love it. I have my little charm here. I don't know if you can see. It's a little yarn ball charm. But super, super, super proud of myself. I can't wait till they're both done. So I guess this would be considered half object. And also for this, I am using loops and threads. It's sock yarn. You know, I apologize because I don't even know the correct name for it. I just know that it is from Loops and Threads, and it's not wool. It's a very, very pleasurable yarn to work with, but it's not wool. It's not socky. I can't think of the name. But it's a very silky-ish type of yarn to work with for the sock. I guess it's for people who don't, an alternative for people who don't enjoy wool on their feet. But yes, it's from Loops and Threads, and I love it. I can't wait for it to be done so I can have a pair. And you know what? I'm going to challenge myself. I challenge myself to have this pair done and sock blockers to put them on in all its glory for the next podcast. Okay? Hold that on me. Okay, so that is my hoe, my half object. I am going to show you my next whip, which is another knitting whip. And this is pretty cool to me. It's not in anything. I actually do have it in my little yarn bowl, and it's my first time doing magic loop, which is pretty cool. I do like it. Again, I do know how to knit in the round, and I've used larger circulars. The 9-inch circulars are the smallest that I've used, but I did want to dive into trying magic loop. And my daughter is dying for fingerless gloves for the winter time. And I was going to crochet her some, but I figured I want to learn magic loop. I'm just going to try them on the magic loop. I know how to knit purl. Let me just see what I can do, and try to find some YouTube video tutorial to help me out in the process. And I did. So here we go. I have this so far. I just have a cuff here of, I believe it's knit to purl to rib, and just some stockinette. And I'm at the part here where I am increasing for the thumb gusset. So that's what it is so far. I am enjoying the magic loop. I am definitely, for my next pair of socks, which I already have the pattern for, I downloaded the morning coffee socks from the Crazy Sock Lady. She has a podcast also, the Crazy Sock Lady podcast. You can find her on Instagram as the Crazy Sock Lady. She is so beautiful, so cute. Her patterns are beautiful, and with me being a newbie knitter, I definitely had to purchase this new pair that she just came out with, I believe last week, the morning coffee socks, and I'm definitely going to do them on magic loop. Just because when I dive into stuff, I just dive into them head on. Even if I don't know exactly what I'm doing, I will still try, and we'll just see what comes out of it. But the yarn that I'm using for this is this beautiful yarn. It's a Stellina yarn. So beautiful. Sorry, you can see a little bit mess coming out from the bottom. But it's so beautiful. It has gold stellina in it. Very wintry, winteresque vibes. I get Frozen vibes from this. If you have children, you know, Frozen. I kept the tag here so I can share with you. This is from Knits for Comfort, and I did get this yarn at the Garden State Sheep and Fiber Festival. That was earlier this September. Yeah, Knits for Comfort. The colorway is in Icebreaker. You can just see just a simple tag here. Knits for Comfort. The yardage is 438 yards, fingering weight yarn, 75% merino superwash, 20% nylon, 5% stellina. My daughter picked it. I told her she totally had to pick yarn. Again, an excuse to buy yarn, but I know she really, really wanted fingerless mitts, and I really wanted to kind of have her pick her own yarn for that. So yeah, that is living here. I can't wait till it's done. I've actually started this quite a while ago, and I just haven't picked it up. I guess when you get to gusset parts of stuff, I don't know if you're like this, but for right now, for me, when it comes to having to do gussets, it could be a little intimidating. I hope to really, by the next podcast, maybe have, excuse me, oh my goodness, by the next podcast to at least be done maybe with one, because it's actually flying by. It's not taking any time at all. So that's my next whip. Now, along with knitting being like my new love, I always have to have a crochet project handy to do, and I've been wanting to do the Everyday Cardigan by, again, Sorella for the longest time, and you guys, I have it here. Let me just grab it. This yarn, I saw this at Michael's. This is the Karen Latte Cakes, and it's like an eyelash yarn. Oh my gosh. If you guys can go to the store and just touch this yarn, just touch it. Oh my gosh. It's so soft, so plush. I'm like, oh my God. And on the side, they have a pattern for like a scarf, but I'm like, I want a freaking sweater in this. Like this is complete freaking sweater yarn. It's so soft. I cannot wait. I'll put that back in a moment. But I'm making the Everyday Cardigan in that yarn. And I just cannot wait until it's done. I absolutely cannot wait until it's done. I'm going to show you it here. What I have so far. It's still connected to the yarn. But this is what I have so far. Look at that striping. Purple, mauve. But the texture on this, look at this. You guys have to go to the store, if anything, just to touch this yarn, because this yarn, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to just be cozied up with it And people may think I'm crazy because I'm wearing eyelash yarn, but I just don't care because it's just so soft. I can't wait. And like I said again, I've been dying to make the everyday cardigan for quite a while now. And I wasn't sure what I was going to do with this yarn when I purchased it, but I just knew I needed to have it in a sweater because just the feeling alone is bliss. Pure bliss, just touching this yarn. And I figured might as well do the everyday cardigan in this. So I hope to, I have a good dent in the back panel. It's made in panels, so there's the back panel and I believe 2 front panels, and then you're working the sleeves and there's ribbing. Yeah, but this is the back panel so far. So hope I get a little bit more of a dent in that the next time I do podcast. Okay, now I'm also no, I have 2 more to show you. So I'll show you another knitting one that I'm doing. Let me just have a sip of my tea. My throat's getting a little dry, getting a little excited over cardigans. So I am participating in my first knit along, which is from Knititude for the Chantel from Knititude, and it's the My Beginner Raglan. And so I have a love-hate with this right now. I absolutely love it. I love how easy it is. Oh my gosh, I love how easy it is. I love the process of it. It's super super easy, just knitting and purling, garter stitch, some ribbing, and the sleeve construction. She's been so helpful on her Facebook group. If you have joined the My Beginner Raglan Cal, you know what I'm talking about. She's been posting videos on how to do the sleeves, how to separate for the sleeves. Just so helpful, and I absolutely love this pattern. This is what I have for My Beginner Raglan. I just there's ribbing at the top, and here are the increases by the shoulders. I separated for the sleeves, and here's the body, and I just did the ribbing and bind it off. Now, the hate part about this is I don't know what I did wrong when it came to binding off. You had to bind off as the ribbing. I guess bind off ribbing. It made it tight. Oh, I'm so upset. Like the binding off made it to where it can't stretch. And I mean, I'm not the skinniest girl in the world, and this is supposed to be an extra large. So also, I don't know if my gauge was a little off, but as you can tell, it kind of looks a little small, right? Kind of looks a little small. But basically, it fit when I put it on, but it was super tight at the edge. And I was just, I was heartbroken because I already binded it off. I was not going to even try to take it off, or I don't even know what you would do in that situation. But it was already bound off, so I figured I'm just going to make it either for my sister or for my oldest daughter. But I just love it. Again, this is the My Beginner Raglan, and I'm so off here. There we go. Sorry. But it's such a beautiful pattern, super easy, loving it. But again, the bind off of what I did just cinched it so tight. Oh my gosh, I'm so upset. But it gives me an excuse to get more yarn and do it all over again. Why not, right? I'm one that no matter how many times I can mess up with something, I do not mind, unless I'm like super far in something, I don't mind ripping it back and starting again, because it's all a learning process, and I love to learn. I love to know where I made my mistakes and correct them. But with this, me getting this far into the sweater and me already binding it off, I didn't even know what to do, and I wasn't even going to mess with that. So I'll either gift it to my younger sister or my oldest daughter. We'll see where that goes. And I have one more whip to show you. And again, another Sewrella pattern. And I have it here in this little tote bag that I got from Joann's. It's super cute. It says procrastinating. And it gives the definition of procrastinating, which it says to defer all other activities besides knitting. How on point is that, right? If we can just deter any type of housework or any adulting in life and just knit and crochet, that would be life. Life completely. But in here, I have my jean jacket. I believe it's her jean jacket pattern that it's called. Excuse me. It's called her jean jacket pattern or denim jean jacket, but basically it's the jean jacket pattern. Excuse me. That she has. I've gotten quite a ways on it. I just have to do the sleeves, but I made mine in black because I don't have a black sweater and I don't have a black jacket, so I figured to do it in black. And here you can see it's a little bit wrinkled because it's been in the bag for quite a while, but it has the collar. Has the collar here. Again, I have to do the sleeves. But yes, I've put quite a dent into this. I'm so excited. It's made of single crochet stitches, which can be a pain in the butt. Sometimes I don't want to say hate because I can't hate anything that's dealing with yarn, crochet, or knitting. But I don't prefer single crochet stitches. I know that it's mindless and it's super easy to do, but I just feel like it takes forever to get something done when it's single crochet. But I'm powering through. I have this much done. Again, sorry if it's wrinkled. It's been in the bag for a little while. And I just have to do my sleeves. So I will be on Sleeve Island. But yes. And this is using, it called for the Lion brand Fast Track yarn, which I'm not sure if it's discontinued or not, but I have a, poor Christina, because I just want to be in that store all the time. I have a Lion brand outlet that's by me, and I just found out that it was by me, I think earlier this summer. I've made a couple trips there already, of course, bought some yarn, but the cool thing is that they have a lot of discontinued yarns that they've had. So it's really cool to check out some discontinued yarns that they've had, and if a pattern that you're looking for is asking for that type of yarn, you know, they have it in the outlet. I've made a few trips there so far, and I plan to make more. But again, that's using the Fast Track yarn, and it's like a tape yarn. I have a little bit here. I have to get more. But it's like a tape yarn. It's thick. And what I love about this pattern right now, using this yarn, it's that it's pretty heavy. It's heavy, and I feel like I could just have maybe like a sweater or a long sleeve underneath that, and I'll be good to go because it's heavy and it's sturdy. And I wasn't expecting that type of feel with this yarn, but I'm really liking that. And I'm thinking and contemplating about adding a zipper to it, or adding some buttons so I can close it, and just, you know, like, again, have a sweater or a long sleeve under it with a scarf and be kind of good to go in the fall time, because it is super heavy, surprisingly. So that's all of my whips and my one hoe, my half object, and my finished objects. I figure we can go on with the acquisition part of this podcast, but instead of calling it the acquisition segment, I'm going to call it the Take My Money segment, because that's exactly what this segment is take my money. Take all of my money, give me all the goodness, and I'll come back for more, pretty much. But this is going to be the Take My Money segment, I'm going to call it, of the podcast. So I want to show you some things that I have acquired. A lot of it I'm going to show you from what I got from the Sheep and Fiber Festival that was earlier this September. But let's start with this here. This is the softest yarn of life. This is from Cascade Yarns, and this is their 100% baby alpaca yarn. Oh my gosh, if you guys could feel the softness and the squishiness of this yarn, it's to die for. I got 2 skeins of this, and I caked up one already. 2 skeins, and still kind of not sure what I want to do with it yet. So again, this is from Cascade Yarns, the pure alpaca, 100% baby alpaca. And this comes with 220 yards in the skein. So super soft, super squishy. Can't wait to see what comes out of it. So that is one. The next one I have here, I really like it. I saw it from the moment, from the first little boutique or setup when I stepped into the festival. And I was debating and contemplating, like, should I get it? I don't know, you know, if I'm digging the color, but I really love the colorway. It was just, I was half and half. But here it is. I already have it caked up. A lot of these I do, almost pretty much all of them I have caked up already. But here it is. It's like this grungy, really fall. To me, it just screams grunge. 90s grunge. I just love it. It's a fingering weight yarn. It's called a Barnyard, and it's from CC's Wool. If you can see here, CC's Wool. It's a scrumptious superwash, 100% merino wool, fingering weight. It's 2-ply, and there is 560 yards in that skein, which I thought was pretty awesome. But again, it's just like pure grunge vibes to me. Grunge colors. It has greens and like these grays, cream, black, like just grunge. It screams grunge. The next one is also from Cascade Yarns, and this is just a different tag that goes with it, a different one. What's that on there? Kanai? But it's from Cascade Yarns, and it's just a gray and black mixed yarn. Super pretty and super soft. Oh, so soft. Love it. And this is made from 50% alpaca, 5% wool, and 45% acrylic. Again, super soft. Just a plain black and white yarn. And I have some plans for this baby to match something else. But that's something else that I got. So next I have 2, and I'm showing you both at a time because they're from the same brand, which is Handmade Home Fibers, and this is Sorella's hand-dyed yarn. Super plush, super beautiful. This is the Crocheter's base. This one is in tea time. I mean, how gorgeous is this? Just look at that. Oh my gosh, the speckling on here is beautiful. It's a lot of cream and reds and purples and browns in it. I see some blues. Oh, it's just so beautiful. So beautiful. And this one is Merlot. Oh my gosh, is this fall or what? Fall or what? So beautiful. And the reason why I show you them together is because I plan to use them together in something new that I've never tried before. But again, I dive into things. I don't even care. I will YouTube the crap out of it, but I will get it. And I want it to put them together. Again, just look at them. Look at them together. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be gorgeous. So that's from Handmade Home Fibers. Again, that's Sorella's hand-dyed yarn business. Absolutely love it. And that is on her Crocheter's base. And I believe if I'm not mistaken, 236 or 246 yards. Don't quote me. I'm not too sure. I don't have the tags for them anymore. I took them out quite a while ago. But yeah, 236 or 246 in the skein. Crocheter's base. Handmade home fibers. Love it. Can't wait to use it. And I have two more to show you. This one here, so cool. I was eyeing this one for a while. I was with my mom and my daughter, and my mom was like, can you just get it already? Because I kept looking at it. But this is from Black Cat Fibers. And this is their Nomad Sock yarn, 4-ply fingering superwash merino, which is 75% of the superwash, 25% of the nylon, 463 yards total, and the colorway is in Joey, which my dad's name is Joey. But here you go. Look how beautiful this is. This has grays and blacks, white, and if you can see up close, it has like speckled reds in it, like blood speckled reds. Oh my gosh. I just love this. I can't wait to work this up. I already have an idea with this to match something else that I have showed you, but I'll tell you that in the next segment. Now the last, again, that one's from Black Cat Fibers. But the next one I found was this one. This is just like, I describe this as being just angelic, just beautifully angelic type of yarn. This is from Backyard Fiberworks. And this yarn I did not get at the Sheep and Fiber Festival. I Googled local yarn shops. Oh my goodness, I don't know if you guys can hear this, but my stomach is rumbling. I am so hungry. And I really hope it doesn't show through this podcast. But if it does, I'm hungry. So I'm sorry. But this, I Googled trying to find a local yarn shop, and there was one a couple of towns away from me. And I stopped by one day, and I really wasn't planning on getting anything. I just wanted to look and to see, but of course, take my money. So this one is from Backyard Fiberworks. I'm sure I showed you this before, sorry. This is 80% merino, 20% silk, 600 yards, which I was like, cool. In the colorway Urchin. Look at this. Just look at this. How beautiful is this? It's so soft, so gorgeous. I cannot wait to use this. The moment I saw it, I was just like, this is just like angelic to me. That's just the word that comes to me is angelic. I need it. Take my money. Yes, please. And they caked it up for me at the store. But yes, I can't wait to use this. So that really kind of sums up my acquisitions, or the take my money segment of this. I also have, you know, just different yarns here that I got at box stores. You know what? Let me show you this one here, which I have two skeins of this guy. This is from the Lion brand, the luxury collection, I believe. The Anya yarn. But look how pretty this is. This is tropical. I look at this and I see toucan. I should have kept the skein. I think I have a picture of it on my Instagram, as a matter of fact. And it's in this skein, the Hank form. I have two of them. I caked them up already. But just look at this. When I look at this, I see tropical toucan. But that's what I see. When I see yarn, I think of just certain objects. This is tropical toucan. The other one was angelic. The other one, this one, for me, is like vampire. I don't know. I just think of names. I don't know. But this one is called Anime. I think this one is the colorway Anime. And it's a superwash merino. So pretty. I forget the yardage. I think it's 263 yards. But fairly affordable for the skein. I believe it was $13 or $14 for the skein. And I just have other box yarns that I'm still not sure what I want to do with them yet. I guess a little blather here. I have been suffering a lot from upper back pain, and I've been dealing with this pretty heavily since the beginning of the summer. And I have an MRI scheduled for next week. It's just been so annoying, so annoying. It's upper back pain right up here, radiates through my whole upper back. Just kind of worrisome at this point. I do have arthritis that runs in my father's side of the family pretty heavily, and I am just hoping or praying to my one God that it's not arthritis. I don't want it to be arthritis. I had knee surgery back in 2013 on my left knee, and I had a lot of arthritis in that knee and just bad things going on in there. So the pain that I have in my upper back is just consistent. It's kind of always there. Some days worse than others, but there's times where I wake up and it knocks me out for the whole week. But lo and behold, I am getting a MRI this next week, and hopefully it's, you know, fingers crossed and praying to Jesus that it's nothing bad. But yes, thank you so much for, you know, joining me on my first episode of my first podcast. I don't have much to talk about. Again, my life is very, very simple. Take my kids to school, go to work, come home, take care of the house, my husband, just, you know, just plain motherly, wifely things. But I'm so happy that I've created this outlet, and I finally just started this outlet, and I'm ready to just chronicle my journey and to really be a part of this crochet and knit community. I hope you guys accept me as much as I love all of your creativity and everybody that I've seen. Again, I'm really new to all of this, so I hope you enjoy kind of coming along the journey with me. Yeah. But thank you so much. Again, this is my first episode of my Crochet and Knit podcast. I do hope to see you next time, and I am just super grateful that you took the time to spend with me in my little yarny craftiness, and I hope to have you guys here in the future. Please subscribe if you feel led to. Yeah, I hope to not see you guys, but hear from you guys. You know, any constructive criticism or anything you'd like to say, I'm open to hearing. Thank you so much again, and I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you